I have a confession to make. I've not played nearly enough tabletop games recently. I've spent hours and hours and hours looking at the miniatures and painting stuff, but I've only really played a few tiny games here and there. And this week, I'm going to try to change that. So I want games to be played fast, which is what drew me to Kill Team, and I think I'll make the Hernken Jaegers. I have no clue if they play well, I just looked at the range and chose what looked the coolest. Now, for most of the week, I was trying to get replicas of the GW models. I found files that must be scans or something, because they had all these weird halves and shapes you get from the sprue. And I found two major flaws with this. One was that I have no clue what fits onto what, and there's 142 parts. So I found these proxy models. They have had a lot of artistic liberties done to them, which I realise is actually much better than just having worse looking GW kits. Also, I want to take a crack at the tokens in the rulebook. Now onto the printing. So first up, you'll need Orca Slicer or Bambu Slicer, and of course, an A1 and a 0.2mm nozzle. So the settings I use are linked in the description. They use a very fine layer height, which makes the quality a lot better, but makes the print times obviously much longer. You gotta be careful to not scratch it with your scraper, and if you can just, use your hands, do that, but of course, I can't be bothered, so I'll just pull that out. Might have been like 2 days of printing if I didn't have so many damn print failures. So this man is the Thayan, the Jaeger Thayan. I still don't know how you say Jaeger. And he's like the war boss of my kill team. They're apparently like the hardened warriors. So when you remove supports, it's not really that much of a trick to it when you actually have good supports. And a lot of people use like stuff like resin to FDM, but I've never found that the results have had any difference. They've only really made my prints worse. So I think I still have a lot of, testing to do with that. Just take your time, I guess. You'll get the hang of it eventually. It's not that much of a learning curve to it. I really just love how these guys look. They tell a story, This guy hunted some bear, and then he's, keeping it on him for warmth or whatever. And then that guy's like mid-firing the rocket, and it's just this cool plume of smoke behind him. I want to try to print out the rulebook just so I can bring it to my LGS and, just have it in my hand, scroll through, keep rules handy, I don't have to memorize it. Now, it's time to go from 3D to 2D, I guess. So this is a really ancient printer I've had sitting around for ages, and I just, cleaned up. I think it looks really cool. It's just some really over-organized organization. I even put labels on the paper tray. Labels on the paper tray. God. I needed a way to bind it, and that was basically like way more time consuming than the actual printing of the miniatures. So at first I tried to sew it with a sewing machine, and it literally it didn't go through at all. So next I tried to hit it with a needle as well. That didn't work. And then I tried stapling it, which did work for like a second, and then it just gave in and some things just snapped off. It was all a bit of a waste of time. And then what finally clicked for me was I could drill holes through it and then just run the thread through that. And, well, it's working now, but I cut the thread too short, so next time it just falls out because I knot it. Next time it falls out, I just get a longer thread, and then it should be up to standard.
Good morning. Got all these done.
And now to make the tokens.
Some of these.
So these all needed to be printed with a 0.2mm nozzle, because the details just wouldn't show up otherwise. I tried to stamp a few with some white acrylic paint, but that didn't end up happening with the rest, as it was just, a bit too time consuming, a bit too pointless. And I just wanted to play some games. And everything is done, and I love it. It's just so awesome that you can just make this yourself nowadays. But not everything's done. Remember how I said I needed to play some more games? I still need to do that. So I need to tidy up my gaming area, so I'm just gonna remove some clutter. I had some cardboard I cut into pieces and just shoved in this box for whenever I want to scratch build something. And all the scratch built terrain will go on its own shelf because it shouldn't be on the floor because I keep on standing on it. And now the game is ready to get set up. I didn't really have much idea on how I was going to play this, as I'm still really new to the game. So I just made my own scenario of just capture the points, and it was very fun. I loved it. I got obliterated by this death guard, probably because I wasn't using the abilities I had. But there was this one fun scene where I just ran into a group of death guard and just placed a ton of bombs. And right now I'm doing a bit of a challenge where I sculpt my own miniatures for 30 days. So if you want to see that, maybe check out the Patreon I started for it. It's completely free, and it'd mean a lot if you did.